Hi, welcome to Best in Tesla News, episode 141. Tesla had their earnings call and the growth story continues. And we have some more great news about the Tesla semi-truck. And Tesla is cutting the cost of production of their EVs in half. And Mercedes EQE got a little roast by Carwow. And Rolls-Royce and Cadillacs are showing off their luxury EVs. And Volkswagen is struggling a bit with the BEV sales, especially in Germany. And we are at a pivotal moment in history. All this and much more on today's episode. Let's dive right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
Before we dive into the earnings number, there are other ways to check how well Tesla is growing than just the earnings report. Another great way of looking at how Tesla is doing is comparing it to other luxury brands in the US. Here is the list of the top 10 of luxury registrations from January to August of this year with year-over-year comparison. And as you can see, Tesla is the best-selling luxury car brand of any kind in the US. And as you can also see, everyone, and I mean everyone else on the top 10 list is down, and Tesla is the only one that is up, but not by a little. Tesla is up with 104,181 units compared to last year, or growth about 54%. While everyone else on the list combined is down about 223,754 units. So Tesla has no doubt been stealing some of their sales, and the rest is probably just down because of all the other legacy boys. ICE sales are all down as well. And Tesla's numbers are actually 23% of the entire top 10 list versus only about 14% last year. Tesla is rapidly growing in the US luxury car market while everyone else is falling. This just shows you how good Tesla really is doing. Sure, they're losing EV market share as more competitors is coming in, but it's still growth and gain market share in the total car market, as Tesla has also just shown in their earnings report. But they are losing EV market share according to Gordon Johnson, so that's not good. Yes, but that does not matter. They are gaining in the overall market and growing very fast while everyone else is falling. Yes, the short sellers are really good at twisting the good numbers we are seeing from Tesla into bad news. But it is getting very hard to deny just how well Tesla is doing. And I will bet you guys watching are spending a fair amount of time online and on your connected devices. I know I am. My job is sitting on the computer all day, and when I'm not working, I might be streaming some entertainment on some of my other smart devices, and all of my personal information is on my smartphone. That is why a VPN is a very good thing, and why I have partnered up with today's sponsor, NordVPN, because VPN stands for Virtual Private Network, and private being the key word there. A VPN will encrypt your internet traffic and hide your IP address and virtual location, so it will boost your privacy and security online, which is much needed these days, and VPN protection makes hacking close to impossible. And when I was in the US for the Fully Charged live show, I was using public available Wi-Fi hotspots, but I of course didn't know how secure these connections was, but that was not a problem, as I just turned on NordVPN to make sure my connection stays private and secure. And while I was over there in the US, I could still stream my Danish streaming service, as I can just change my IP address to be in Denmark, even though I was at the Fully Charged live show in San Diego. And the user interface is just so simple. You can just click the country you want your IP address to be in, and that is it. Couldn't be any simpler. If you want to check it out, and you definitely should if you care about your online privacy, NordVPN have a great deal for you right now. So go to this link, also in the description down below, to get your 2-year plan with an exclusive deal, huge discount, plus 4 bonus months for free, and is risk-free with NordVPN's 30-day money-back guaranteed, so you have nothing to lose. So click the link down below to get started today, and a big thanks to NordVPN for sponsoring this video. Tesla had their earnings call, and we got a lot of great new stuff, and the growth story continues. Well, energy storage deployment increased by 62% year over year in Q3 to 2.1 gigawatt hours, by far the highest level Tesla have ever achieved. So Tesla's storage is actually growing faster than Tesla's deliveries of cars in Q3. So that is a very good sign, even without the new 40 gigawatt hour Megapack factory. I hope we will see starting production in the beginning of 2023. And we did see Tesla trying to explain why they will no longer do the end of the quarter push, and they will try to hit that ideal state instead of using these huge swing in deliveries and numbers of cars in transit. And they expect that smoothing their outbound logistic throughout the quarter will improve cost per vehicle. So this is a very good thing, but Wall Street only saw deliveries go down compared to their production, but apparently did not understand why. And we saw Tesla showing revenue growth in comparison to the auto industry, and Tesla is at 60% trailing 12-month in revenue growth, and we can see the auto industry is down. So yes, the auto industry is in a bit of trouble, but that just makes Tesla's achievements even more impressive. And as we can also see here, their operating margin is also twice as high as the industry average, trailing 12 month. And look at Tesla's deliveries and free cash flow, net income trailing 12 months. We can see there are only one trend, and that is up. And one thing that really shows us that Tesla is in a very healthy growth is that Tesla's bottom line is growing faster than their top line. Tesla's revenue grew by 56% year over year, but their net income grew 103%. This is a very healthy business, and we did see Tesla's operating margin go back up again after Q2, where they fell down from 19.2% in Q1 to 14.6% in Q2, and now back up again to 17.2%. So this is just up and beyond anyone else in the auto industry. Most others are about 5 to 8% operating margins, so this is just so impressive what Tesla is doing. And Tesla even put a couple of billions of dollars into their bank account. Now cash and cash equivalent is $21.1 billion. That was mainly driven by Tesla's free cash flow, which went up to $3.3 billion, up 148% year over year, or about 5 times higher than Q2's free cash flow. And Tesla is finally getting rapid traction on their 4680 cells, and Tesla did produce 3 times as many 4680 cells in Q3 than they did in Q2, so that is really good news. As Tesla said, they are pedal to the metal to get to 1,000 gigawatt as fast as possible of their own batteries in the US. And they also said that at Austin the day before produced enough vehicles in a day that it would be 2,000 in production a week. So we should see Tesla in Texas reveal next week that they reached 2,000 units in production. And Elon also said that they have the ability to do a $5 to $10 billion buyback, and the board thinks that a buyback is a good idea. So we will definitely see that next year. And Elon said that the next generation of vehicles will be about half the cost of the Model 3 and Y platform. Actually, they said it's half the price, using half the factory footprint and twice the output. Yeah, let's see anyone keep up with that. Remember, Volkswagen will try to get to the production speed of the Model 3 in 2026. and Tesla will cut that production for their next EV platform in half, and they will already be there before Volkswagen's Trinity platform. So if Volkswagen can get to Tesla's production speed of the Model 3 in 2026, Tesla will still be about twice as fast as Volkswagen. Yeah, there is no catching up to this level of innovation. And we know their cost is about $36,000 for making an EV today. So that should mean that Tesla will be able to build an EV for about an average of $18,000 in a couple of years. Just as I said in my video from April in 2021 about the Model A, or whatever it's going to be called, this will simply make Tesla's addressable market explode. And Elon did also say that he sees a way for Tesla to far exceed both Apple and Saudi Aramco combined current market cap. And he later said that is not including the Tesla bot. So he sees a way of Tesla to get to a market cap of $4 trillion. And people are of course skeptic, but Elon did make similar prediction back in 2015 when he said Tesla would be worth more than Apple and their $700 billion by 2025. That happened way before and got up much higher. Tesla ended up being worth $700 billion by December 2020, 5 years earlier than his prediction, and they have been over $1 trillion. And Elon also wrote later on Twitter, "The media reports with great fanfare my predictions that are late, but rarely those that comes early." Exactly. Yeah, Tesla has so much potential. We have just started, and this should be something the Wall Street should be looking at, the future and the potential growth. But as we have seen, most are just talking about Q3 was a miss. Why? Because Wall Street's estimates? Tesla has record deliveries and record production and records revenue in Q3. Tesla grew 56% in revenue, 47% in gross profit, and 103% in net income. I'm sorry, but this is not a bad quarter, as many makes it seems like. Tesla, so far this year, has grown their revenue by 60% in a year where the rest of the auto industry is shrinking in size. So it is very, very impressive with all the headwinds that have really hurt most OEMs, but not Tesla. And as John pointed out on Twitter, Tesla went public in 2010. That year, revenue was $177 million. Today, Tesla generates more, I might add, than $177 million every single day. Tesla is doing extremely great. And James also shared this chart showing Tesla's cumulated net income through the years. And just look at that rocket taking off. Yes, as we had talked about before, Tesla is even profitable, taking all the years they burn cash into account. And as we can see, there is no sign of Tesla slowing down. Q3 was another great quarter. And Tesla said that Q4 is looking extremely good. Oh yes. And they also confirmed that the semi-truck will start being delivered on the 1st of December to Pepsi, as we already heard, and that it is not using the 4680 cell, but still have a 500 miles of range fully loaded. So this will be even better later in the decade, as they will get the 4680 cells, just making a big dump all over the hydrogen truck. But I have a whole video coming on that topic, so stay tuned for that. But Tesla is aiming for 50,000 units in production of the semi-truck at Texas by 2024. And that might not sound like much, but it is. As Teslarati pointed out in this article about it, they showed the chart showing the Class 8 truck industry in the US. And as you can see, if Tesla will produce about 50,000 units, they will probably sit on something like 25% of the semi-truck industry and come close to Freightliner in size. That is by far the biggest in the US, but will probably shrink as Tesla will eat into their market with a more affordable semi-truck that will pay itself off in maybe 3 years and add about $10 billion in revenue to Tesla. And this journey starts in only 45 days. Can't wait for this one. But I did a whole video about Tesla's earning call and the tsunami of cash Tesla has coming and the buyback that Tesla will do. So if you want to learn more about that, check out that video. One that is struggling a bit is Volkswagen, and is not keeping up with Tesla as many automotive analysts expected. Volkswagen deliveries were up just over 10% in the third quarter, so supply chain troubles ease up a bit, still down 12.9% overall this year at just 6 million vehicles. That is still, of course, 94% ICE cars though. All electric cars made up 6% of all deliveries, so Volkswagen's BEV sales are actually not doing so great, and especially not in Germany, as Tesla topped registrations of battery electric vehicle in Germany in the first 9 months of the year at nearly 38,500 units, federal data showed, beating the Volkswagen brand by 6,000 vehicles. In Germany, Tesla's registrations jumped nearly 50% from the January to September period last year, while Volkswagen's dropped 40% to just 32,300, in line with the broader drop across most of Volkswagen's group brand in Europe's biggest car market in Germany. See guys, that is a miss. Shrinking BEV sales by 40% in their home country, while BEV market share is shooting up like a rocket. That is a miss. Not Tesla's earnings call that grew in net income by 103%. No, Volkswagen did a big miss. But because their overall sales was up 10%, the headline are good about Volkswagen. But Tesla just grew 56%, but headlines are all bad. Yes, it's getting embarrassingly obvious that mainstream media is trying to paint a bad scenario about Tesla and a good scenario about legacy autos. Globally, Volkswagen Group saw total deliveries of its battery electric vehicles rise 25% in January to September from the year earlier. So that is of course good, not as good as Tesla, but good for Volkswagen. But BEVs for the first 3 quarters was 366,400 vehicles. So that means that Volkswagen delivered 149,300 BEVs in Q3. But Volkswagen's target for 2022 was 750,000. So that will mean that Volkswagen have to deliver 383,600 units in Q4. That is about 2.5 times more than what they delivered in Q3, or about 17,000 more than what they have delivered in the first 3 quarters. As I said, after the first half of 2022, I don't think that Volkswagen will get close to the 750,000 unit. If they make some records in Q4, they could get close to 600,000, maybe even pull off a 650,000 units if everything flies. So that is in line with my expectations from last year, that I thought they would be able to do about 650,000 units in 2022, and really shows Volkswagen is not keeping up with Tesla as many automotive analysts thought they would, and definitely not catching up to Tesla, as Volkswagen will maybe grow with about 200,000 units in 2022 and Tesla will grow maybe about 450,000 units. So again, Tesla is pulling away. Last year, Volkswagen sold almost exactly 50% less than what Tesla did, but I do believe that Volkswagen will be about 55% smaller than Tesla in 2022 with their BEVs. Even though Volkswagen comes from a much smaller base, Tesla is able to ramp up faster. Tesla will grow about 50% this year. I still believe that is possible with the production capacity Tesla has, and Volkswagen will be between 40 to 45% growth is my guess from a smaller unit base. Yeah, this is not keeping up. And Mercedes got a little roast this week from Carwow on their Mercedes EQE SUV. Matt from Carwow had this to say in an interview with Mercedes.
Now, a lot of electric cars often have a front boot, you know, like Teslas have them, a lot of the Korean manufacturers have them. What is it with the Germans, like BMW, Volkswagen Group and yourselves, you don't make use of a front boot? There's no internal combustion engine under there. Why don't you in Germany like a front boot? In fact, on this, you can't even open it, can you? The customer doesn't open this, do they?
No, they can't.
What's a secret underneath here?
There's no special secret, you know. So first of all, you know, you have a four-wheel drive. So if you have a four-wheel drive, then there's an electrical motor. And then in addition to that, you are getting optional here the HEPA filter. And this is also using space in there, you know. Okay. Because of that, from our point of view, the space in the back is enough and it's good.
Okay, 3 words for you. Tesla Model Y have all the things that you've just said, yet they have a front boot. Just saying.
But they do not have a HEPA filter, you know, with the
Don't they?
performance that we have.
I thought they did.
They have a filter, but not with the performance that we have.
Which means you can't have a front boot. Which would you rather have? I think I'd probably go with the front boot.
Wow. Dear Mercedes, please learn your competition before you embarrass yourself on video. Tesla does have HEPA filters. They even made a whole video about it. And the Model Y does have a front, all-wheel drive and a HEPA filter. Apparently, something Mercedes engineers sees as impossible. But this is Mercedes' brand new EQE SUV. The sedan EQE, not the SUV, does look very similar to the EQS and is built on the same chassis. But the EQE is just a little bit smaller, but if you saw them on the street it would be very difficult to tell them apart. And the EQE does come with a range from 523 to 630 kilometers WLTP, so very good, and the charging is 170 kilowatts, and 0 to 100 kilometers an hour is from 7.3 down to 3.5 seconds. So all in all, very good specs, but it does cost about $30,000 less than the EQS. So I do think this will steal a bit into the EQS market because it looks so similar. So I think Mercedes should probably just have made the EQE as an SUV and not a sedan as well, and the EQS only as a sedan and not as an SUV as well. So the EQE would just come in and take over from the EQC, the so-called Tesla killer back in the days that Mercedes will phase out now. But Mercedes also made the EQS as an SUV. So it just looks like Mercedes is doing the great legacy automaker thing of making as many different models as possible to complicate everything as much as possible. But anyway, the EQE SUV does seems like a very nice luxury EV with a very good specs and with a much better starting price than the EQS, so could be a very popular model from Mercedes and a very important EV from Mercedes as well. It is Mercedes' foreseeable highest volume electric vehicle according to an internal report. Independent expert also attests to the series' good prospect for success. We see three growth drivers in the auto industry right now: electric vehicle, SUV and premium, explains Frank Biller, an analyst at LBBW in Stuttgart. With the EQE SUV, Mercedes cover all levels. It is Mercedes' version of the Model Y, just a little bit more expensive with the starting price, and of course with all the extras you can get, it will of course become much more expensive, but it's also much more luxurious. And apparently just missing the frunk because Mercedes engineers does not know how to fit all of that together with a HEPA filter. But let's see if they can ramp up the production of the EVs, because we still need to see that, as Stefan Bratzel, director of the Central of Automotive Management, also said to Handelsblatt. Big ambitions, small results. That is how Mercedes-Benz electric offensive can be summed up so far. No other German car maker is currently as committed to an internal combustion engine as the brand with the three-pointed star. The Swabians want to deliver only fully electric vehicles in less than 8 years. For that to happen, Mercedes need to start showing volume. Yes, that is for sure, and the same thing could be said about almost all the other legacy automakers like Ford, that has made some great EVs, but still no real volumes. If you want to learn more about the big trouble the German automakers are in, don't forget to check out my video on that topic from this week, link down below. I made a whole video about the Model Y takeover and how great September was for the Model Y around the world in my news show, but it might be even better than we think. Brian Wang, who is contributing to the book Randy and I is making, actually did the numbers, and it might be even better than we thought. We can't be sure that the numbers are 100% correct, but they should be in this ballpark, and Brian shared this chart with us, and according to him, Tesla has so far delivered about 530 Model Ys this year. And in my video about the Model Y takeover, I made some rough guesses that the Model Y probably had delivered delivered about 545,000 units. And his estimate for the full year is about 810 to 860,000 units, where I said 850,000 units. So again, Brian and I are in the same ballpark here. And the Toyota Corolla has delivered about 731,000 in the first 3 quarters. So it is still in the lead here. And in Q3, according to Brian, the Corolla should be a little bit in front with something like 3,000 units. But we are getting very close to the Model Y and the Corolla having the same amount of units sold in a quarter. But as Brian points out, in September, the Model Y should have delivered something like 84,800 units, where the Corolla should have sold something like 78,500 units. And according to Brian, Tesla should beat the Corolla in Q4 with something like 40 to 50,000 units, meaning that September 2022 was the month we saw the tipping point of the Model Y becoming the best-selling car in the world. That was the first month the Model Y beat the Corolla, and Q4 2022 should be the first quarter they beat it, and 2023 should be the first year that it beats it. So this is a really big moment. History is being made right now. September 2022 is the month it all started, when the electric car became the best-selling car in the world. And the Model Y, here in Denmark anyway, does have a starting price that is about 40% more than the Corolla. So the Model Y should already year-to-date have a higher revenue than the Corolla, and probably earn Tesla about 4 to 5 times more in profits than the Corolla has made for Toyota. So the Model Y is already the best-selling car in revenue and profits in the world today, and from here on out, it will be the best-selling car in the world by units, until Tesla releases new, more affordable car that will cost Tesla half to build. That will take over from the Model Y in sales when it's fully ramped up. What a pivotal moment in time we are living in. And let's squeeze in the last short news topics into this news show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla Shorts. And we got some new colors from the Berlin factory. Tesla unveiled 2 new colors for Berlin-built Model Ys: Midnight Cherry Red and highly saturated metallic color with dramatic depth that transform with the light, called Quicksilver. The 2 new colors are available on the Model Y Long Range and the Model Y Performance. Customers can now order and choose these 2 colors in the configurator. Quicksilver will replace Midnight Silver, and deliveries will start before the end of this year. Midnight Cherry Red replace Red Multiple Coat, with first deliveries starting next year. Looking very, very nice in my opinion. And Elon also tweeted, to be clear, Fremont and Shanghai will also be upgraded over time, but it is hard to retrofit these improvements to an operating paint shop. And SpaceX has launched Starlink Aviation, and the price will be between $12,500 to $25,000 a month, with one-time hardware cost of $150,000, and it can deliver up to 350 megabits per second to each plane, with a latency of only 20 milliseconds with a global coverage. No long-term contracts, and all plans include unlimited data. Your hardware is under warranty for as long as you're subscribed to the service. Oh yeah, this will be the norm on any commercial plane in the future, and a big business for SpaceX. Deliveries starts in 2023. And Shell has quietly closed down all of its hydrogen filling stations in the UK. Facilities shut down as prototype tech has reached its end of life. Shell announced the opening of each of these 3 hydrogen filling stations with great fanfare between 2015 and 2019, but it has quietly closed them all down this year because they reached their end of life. That was quick. And each cost at least $2 million to build, according to Hydrogen Fueling Cells Partnership, and are undoubtedly operating at a loss in the UK due to the lack of hydrogen-powered vehicles on the country's road. Only 2 hydrogen-powered car models have been sold in the UK, the Toyota Mirai and the Hyundai Nexo, resulting in a total sales of 209 and 275 units respectively. Only 11 public hydrogen pumps remain open in the UK, compared to more than 57,000 public electric vehicle charging points. wonder when they will see the writing on the wall. Just give up on these fuel cells. And Volkswagen is recalling more than 10,000 ID3s and ID4s in Europe. Volkswagen explains that some 10,130 Volkswagen ID3 and ID4 vehicles that were produced in 2020 have potentially defective battery modules. So yet another automaker that gets battery from LG is having trouble with their batteries. Let's cross our fingers that this will stay with only these 10,000 models and not be a wider problem for all IDs, like we saw with GM and their Bolt EV and Bolt EUV that ended up costing GM a couple of $1 billion in recalls. But again, they should have listened to Elon and said pouch cells are not a good idea. And speaking of Volkswagen and trouble, we all know how much trouble they're in because of software, and the Porsche Macan is now officially delayed to 2024 due to software issues. Yes, the software problem at the Volkswagen Group is as real as they get. And Sawyer shared this on Twitter. SpaceX has launched a redesigned payload configuration for their rideshare program, enabling the company to offer dedicated rideshare missions to orbit for as low as $275,000, a big reduction of their previous low of $1 million. Indeed, very impressive. And Cadillac revealed their production prototype of the Celestiq, Cadillac's new EV flagship. It will be hand-built, and Cadillac will only make 2 a day, so it will be very exclusive. And the starting price of $300,000 also shows that. It will not be a money machine for Cadillac, but only serve as a halo effect car for the brand of Cadillac. So they will try to make this ultimate luxury car in the new EV world, to make people excited about the Cadillac brand again. What do you think of the look of this $300,000 Cadillac? Let me know down below. But Rolls-Royce doesn't want to be outdone by the Cadillac and has unveiled their first EV, the Spectra, with a starting price between $350,000 to $465,000, trying to outpimp the Cadillac. A 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds, 260 miles EPA, and deliveries begin in Q4 of 2023. And I just made a video this week about how the German automakers are in a bit of trouble as their competitive advantage in the car industry is eroding with its shift to EVs. And the Chinese, together with Tesla, are going to flood the streets of Europe with great EVs. And here is another example. The BMW i4 only got a 4-star safety rating in Europe's NCAP. And the BYD Auto 3 did get 5-star safety rating. And as you can see, the BYD does get better rating in both adult and child occupants, but also in safety assist features. I would expect nothing but 5 stars from BMW. So this is a bit of a letdown, as many has always pointed to the Chinese are not well built and not high safety, so not very good if they are losing in that category as well. And Tesla owner Silicon Valley showed a video of Smart Summon, and Elon replied, "Actually, Smart Summon is almost done." Oh yes, can't wait to see that, as so far it has not really worked very well. And GM has unveiled their 2024 GMC Sierra EV. With 400 miles of range, 0 to 60 as low as 4.5 seconds, up to 350 kilowatt charging, towing 9,300 pounds, payload 1,300 pounds. That was actually not that much, probably is a very heavy truck, but can power a home for up to 21 days. So that is probably a very big battery and why it weighs so much. But the starting price is $52,000 in 2025. The Denali Edition 1 cost $108,000 in early 2024. And they have completely copied Ford's Power Frunk. It does look very much like the Ford F-150 Lightning, not much different here. So the legacy continues to just make the same looking pickups. Only Tesla will stand out in the crowd. But let's see them produce this in high volume before we get all too excited, as the Hummer EV is still only being produced in the hundreds a quarter, even though there are more than 65,000 customers waiting for the truck. So it is still the production of EVs that is causing GM trouble. And Dirty Tesla showed that a dirt road is not even a challenge for the full self-driving beta at 40 miles per hour. No lines or HD mapping required with Tesla's full self-driving beta. And Tesla is improving its logistics in Shanghai. As Ombisam tweeted, Tesla China has completely changed the logistic plan in Shanghai. It seems the loading is now quite real time, from production line to charging to quality check and into trucks, cutting out parking lot time just for minutes. Yeah, let's keep an eye on the Shanghai factory and see how many cars they can get out of that factory in Q4 to China and the rest of the world. And before we end off with a bit of fun, I just want to make a quick shout out to my newest patrons and members of this YouTube channel. My new Patreon, GHV, and my new thank you for watching members, Gene Topkins. Thank you so much for your support. I am doing this all by myself, but you guys are all the producers of this new show. Thank you. And a big and special thanks to Supporter of the Week, and this week's winner is Fred Hardy. Fred has been a best in Tesla superhero of mine for 1 year. Thank you so much for the support, Fred. Much appreciated. Please contact me on this email down below so I can get your address so I can send you your free t-shirt or mug of your choice. And let's end off with a bit of fun. SpaceX competition trying to get to orbit and back. Let's go to the moon! That is all we have time for in this new show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help out this video a lot so others can find it here on YouTube. And if you did like it, maybe you want to consider hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. If you are already a subscriber, thank you so much for your support, and if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can, for as little as $1, become a patron of this channel and get your shout out on this show. You can also become a member of the YouTube channel to get a shout out and some extra perks. Hit the members button to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I tweet all the news as it comes out and more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. Now it's also possible to support the show without buying anything, becoming a member or a patron. There is a link to a donation options in the show notes. And also as simple as hitting the super like button. But going forward, I will be making more videos for patrons and members only. And I will give my YouTube members and patrons early access to my videos whenever possible and make my videos ads free for members and patrons only. So don't miss out. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.